Okay, think back for a second. Remember when maybe carrying shopping bags or just getting up from a chair, even climbing stairs felt completely effortless?
Yeah, like your body just
Yeah,
worked. No thought needed.
exactly. And then maybe over time you start to notice a little bit of a struggle. Things feel heavier, a bit more sluggish.
It creeps up on you.
Well, what if there was like one simple habit you could do every day, something backed by research that could help you get some of that easy strength back?
That's what we're digging into today, right?
Precisely. The material we're exploring promises to show us that habit, how you can start right away, maybe even without fancy equipment.
And there's something else too, isn't there? Something towards the end.
Yeah, stick around for that because this document hints at something else. Something really common that might actually be working against your muscles, even if you think it's good for you.
Ooh, interesting.
So, welcome to this deep dive. Our mission, as always, is to take this one source document and pull out the absolute key nuggets of wisdom. Today, it's all about regaining muscle strength, especially as we get older.
Cutting through the noise, getting to the actionable stuff.
That's the plan. Okay, let's unpack it. What's the core problem this document identifies right off the bat?
Well, the material jumps straight into this issue of gradual weakening. It's often unnoticed.
Yeah.
It introduces the term sarcopenia.
Sarcopenia, right?
Yeah, basically it's this age-related condition where you lose muscle mass, and that starts to affect your joints, your mobility, and, well, your independence.
And it throws out a pretty startling statistic, doesn't it?
It really does. It mentions that by the time you're 70, you could have lost as much as 30% of your muscle tissue.
30%. That's significant.
It's huge. And the source points out this isn't just a number. It shows up as like aching joints, feeling less vital, maybe that little bit of unsteadiness when you stand up or step off a curb.
Right, that feeling of not being quite solid on your feet.
Exactly. And it frames this muscle loss as the key challenge it aims to help people tackle.
Okay, 30% loss definitely explains why simple things feel harder. Now, lots of people try to stay active, right? And the go-to is often walking.
You get your steps in.
Everyone's walking. It feels like the right thing. But does this document say walking is actually enough to fight this kind of muscle loss? This is where it gets interesting.
Yeah, this is a crucial point in the source. It directly addresses what it calls a common error.
It's error, okay?
It states pretty clearly that walking alone, while great for lots of things, just isn't sufficient for preserving or rebuilding muscle strength, especially past 60.
So wait, it's not saying washing is bad.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
It emphasizes that walking is fantastic, great for your heart, circulation, mood, even flexibility. But
But
when the specific goal is restoring that lost muscle tissue, the kind you lose with sarcopenia, walking simply falls short. That's the phrase it uses.
falls short. Why though? What's the reasoning?
Well, the source explains that walking is mostly low-impact, repetitive motion. Good for endurance, keeps you moving, but it doesn't really challenge the muscles enough.
Not enough push.
Exactly. Doesn't signal them to get stronger or maintain real power. The analogy it uses is pretty good. Walking helps maintain your current state,
Okay.
but it doesn't build up strength reserves.
Yeah.
And the source points out, as we age, our bodies are kind of making these natural deductions from our muscle accounts.
Right.
If you're not making additions through a different kind of activity, well, the balance keeps dropping. The decline continues.
That makes sense. Deductions need additions. It even shares a story, right? Margaret.
Yeah, Margaret, 67. A really relatable example. She walked 30 minutes every day, thought she was doing all the right things.
Like so many people.
Exactly. But she noticed struggles.
Mm.
Laundry upstairs felt like a huge task. Handling a heavy pan was getting tough.
Mm.
And the wake-up call was a small slip. She realized she didn't have that quick burst of strength to stabilize herself.
Ah, that instant reaction power.
Right. And her doctor apparently said something very telling. You stay busy, but you lack power.
Oof. Busy versus powerful. That's a key distinction this source is making.
It really is. Are you just moving, or do you have that functional strength when you need it?
Okay, so if walking isn't the main answer for strength, what is? What's the solution this document puts forward?
The core solution it champions is strength exercises.
Right, makes sense. Like lifting weights,
Yeah.
gym stuff.
Well, interestingly, it emphasizes this isn't necessarily about heavy weights or the gym or some magic pill or drink. It's about regular practice. Things you can often do at home, sometimes with just your body weight.
Okay, so accessible then.
Very.
Yeah.
And what's really fascinating is the claim the source makes. Strength exercises don't just slow down the decline.
Yeah.
They actually instruct the body to create new muscle tissue, even later in life.
Really? You can build new muscle.
That's the message. And it doesn't stop there. It lists other benefits too, like improving balance, which is huge for preventing falls, fortifying bones, helping control blood sugar, even boosting cognitive function. It's presented as a really holistic benefit.
Wow. So it's not just about bigger biceps.
Not at all. And it backs this up. The source points to research the remarkable part showing older adults, we're talking 60s, 70s, even 80s,
Yeah.
can increase their muscle strength significantly, up to 40% in just 8 weeks.
40% in 8 weeks. That's
Yeah.
incredible.
It is, and it presents this as solid evidence, not just, wishful thinking. It shows what consistent effort can do.
Is there another story? Like Margaret's?
Yes, there's John, 72. He wasn't an athlete, never lifted weights, but he felt unsteady, avoided carrying his shopping.
Felt like his muscles had surrendered, the source said.
Exactly, that feeling. Apparently, a challenge from his grandson got him started on a simple 10-minute morning routine.
What kind of routine?
Just basic strength stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Wall pushes, chair rises, using his stairs for step-ups.
Things you can do at home.
Right. And the document describes how he struggled at first, legs aching, arms shaking a bit.
Which is normal when you start something new.
Totally normal. But then it details the results. He could manage his shopping bags easily, his back pain lessened, his posture improved.
And he felt like his true self again. That's powerful.
It really is. And these stories, Margaret's and John's, they highlight the core principle the source keeps coming back to.
Which is...
You don't need to become a bodybuilder. You just need to consistently challenge your muscles a little bit more than you did yesterday.
just a little bit more consistently.
That small, regular signal is apparently what tells your body, okay, we need to build here.
That makes it sound much less daunting. Okay, so for someone listening thinking, right, I want to try this, what practical steps does the document suggest? How do you start safely?
It gives some very concrete, easy-to-start examples,
Yeah.
focusing on fundamental movements.
Like what?
Okay, first, chair rises. Simple but effective for legs and hips. It suggests, say, 3 rounds of 5 to 10 repetitions.
Just standing up from a chair?
Basically, yes. Using a sturdy chair, lowering yourself controllably, only as far as feels secure. No need to go super deep at first.
Got it. What else?
Second, wall pushes, like a push-up, but against a wall. Good for arms, chest, core power. Maybe 2 rounds of 10 to 15 reps.
How did that work?
You stand a few feet from a wall, hands on the wall, and just bend your elbows to lower your body towards it, then push back, keeping it controlled.
Okay, seems doable. And third?
Third, step climbing. Great for balance and leg strength. Just using the bottom step of your stairs or even a low, stable stool or platform.
For how long?
Just 1 or 2 minutes to start. And crucially, use a wall or handrail for support if you need it. Safety first.
Good point. How often should you do these?
The document suggests at least 3 times a week. But it also notes that making it a daily habit, maybe first thing in the morning like brushing your teeth, can be even better for consistency.
Building it into the routine.
Exactly. And it briefly mentions that later on, if things get easy, you could add light resistance bands to keep the challenge going.
Okay. What about food? Does it mention nutrition?
Yes, very important point. It stresses not to overlook nutrition. Muscles need protein to rebuild, especially when you're working them.
Makes sense. What kind of protein sources?
It lists good quality ones. Eggs, Greek yogurt, beans and lentils, tofu, wild fish, things like that.
And how much?
It gives a target. Aim for about 20 to 30 grams of protein per meal, especially around the time you do your exercises. That helps with the repair and growth process.
Right, fuel for the rebuilding.
Precisely. So the overall call to action from this source is really simple. Pick one exercise, just one to start. Decide you'll do it tomorrow, and then just keep doing it.
Start small, be consistent.
That's the core message.
Yeah.
It conveys this real confidence that your body will respond if you give it that consistent nudge.
Thinking back to Margaret and John, this source really makes it clear that getting stronger isn't just about, the physical act. It's about feeling capable again.
Feeling competent in your daily life. Feeling like yourself.
Yeah. It makes you wonder, what difference could getting some of that strength back make in your life? In those everyday moments that might feel a bit challenging right now.
That's a really powerful question to reflect on. The potential impact is significant.
Definitely. Now, as we wrap up our deep dive into this document, it did mention something else. Hinted at something important for muscle health that we didn't fully explore.
Ah, yes, that little teaser from the beginning.
Right. The source mentions revealing one common food that quietly undermines your muscles, even if you think it's healthy.
Undermines muscles, even if it seems healthy. That is intriguing.
It really makes you think, doesn't it? What could that common food possibly be? And how might it be sort of subtly working against your muscle health without you even realizing it?
That's definitely something to ponder
Uh-huh.
and maybe look into further based on this material. A final thought to chew on.